Hello everyone, my name is Thomas White and this is Thomas Writes. Today is my BookTube Newbie Tag video. For those of you who don't know, a BookTube Newbie Tag video is just one in which a person explains what their channel is about, why they started the channel, and answers a couple of common questions regarding the kind of content they're going to post and what kind of reading that they like to do. I know it's been a month since I started posting videos on this channel, but I figured better late than never, and that this would be a good way for me to kind of get my name out there and get feedback from people on the kind of content I'm posting. I'm really excited to be doing this, and I hope you all will join me through my BookTube journey. I'm gonna try to keep this video pretty short and sweet. I'll only be answering a few questions just for the sake of brevity, but if you have any questions that I did not answer in this video, feel free to ask them down in the comments below. And with that being said, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe as well for more content. I post new videos every Saturday, and I'm really looking forward to engaging with you all on the kinds of books that we can all enjoy together. With all that being said, let's start on the questions. The first question I have here is, why did you start this channel? To be perfectly honest, over the summer, I was spending way too much time on YouTube just consuming content of all varieties. I love to watch booktube channels, movie channels, video game channels, anything that you could classify as nerdy entertainment on YouTube, I have probably consumed in some fashion. I had been wanting to start a YouTube channel for some time, but I was never entirely sure what kind of content I wanted to make. I was also very uncomfortable with the idea of showing my face on camera, and when you first start a YouTube channel of any kind, it's a bit nerve-wracking because you're putting yourself out there into the world for anyone and everyone to be able to judge, to criticize, to receive feedback from, and that can be intimidating. The social anxiety of it kind of prevented me from ever starting a YouTube channel, but over the course of the summer, I realized just how much time I was spending on YouTube anyway, and that so much of my free time was being consumed by it. So at some point I figured, why not try it out for myself? Why not start posting videos and see if I get any sort of good response from it? My first video on this channel is my review of the first book in the Wheel of Time series, and I posted it because, frankly, I don't know a lot of people in my personal life who have been reading the Wheel of Time, and so I didn't really have anyone to talk to about it. And I'm hoping that I can bring a different kind of perspective on the series that a lot of other people don't have, because, frankly, I know next to nothing about the Wheel of Time, other than that it's high fantasy. It was written by Robert Jordan and then later finished by Brandon Sanderson. I'm really looking forward to being able to engage with other people who enjoy reading, especially science fiction and fantasy. Those are the two genres I gravitate to the most in my own personal reading, and so I'm hoping to find other people who enjoy that as well. Another big contributing factor as to why I started this channel is the fact that I myself want to become a writer. I dabble in a lot of science fiction and fantasy stories that I write on my own spare time just for fun, and I'm hoping to become a published author one day. And as such, I'm wanting to consume more science fiction and fantasy books to kind of get a better understanding of those genres, because frankly, most of my understanding of those genres come from movies, TV, and video games. It's only been recently that I've started getting back into reading for fun. I have just been so burned out on reading because of school and just reading for work, and picking up reading for fun again has been incredible, and I think it has overall just been a great help in my life in terms of dealing with anxiety and in terms of just having fun and something entertaining to do. The next question I have here is, what are some fun and unique things that you can bring to BookTube? Obviously, being a channel that covers science fiction and fantasy and books is nothing new. I'm sure there are plenty of other channels out there that cover the same type of material. I guess the big thing that I want to do to set myself apart is I really love doing long-form style content where I sit down and talk about one book for an extended period of time. I feel like long-form reviews have kind of disappeared from BookTube. They're not very common anymore. If you look at the current landscape of BookTube and just YouTube in general, videos tend to be getting shorter and shorter and shorter. I feel like there are some subjects that are just so in-depth that to do a 30-second or 1-minute video on them would be to do them a disservice. And so I'm hoping to do videos at around 10 to 15 minutes for the most part, though with Wheel of Time, those videos may be a bit longer just because those books are so much longer. I think another fun and unique thing that I can bring to BookTube is that I love doing like little skits. I don't know if other people will find them very funny, but I really want to experiment with other forms of content that booktubers can put out. Most booktubers, their bread and butter is book reviews, book hauls, and TBRs. And while I'll certainly be doing some of those things, I also want to experiment around with doing comedy skits, with doing video essays, doing some writing advice videos. Also, come November, I want to talk about the novel writing month and hopefully participate in that and kind of chronicle my experience through that on this channel. So in a way, I guess my channel is trying to merge book content, writing content, and author content all into one. I know on YouTube it can be hard to diversify into different kinds of content, but frankly, I'm doing this for fun, and I want to do whatever I enjoy on this channel, and hopefully other people will enjoy it as well. Next up I have, what book or series got you into reading? I would say of the singular books that got me into reading, the big ones would be Fahrenheit 451 and 1984. I read those books back in high school, and for me, both of them just struck such a profound chord with me. They touched me in a way that a lot of other literature didn't. I feel like up until that point, like a lot of students, I saw reading older literature as being boring, as being not very engaging, and kind of asking, what's the point of reading all these old stories? But with both of those books, they really showed me how even books written decades ago, sometimes hundreds of years ago, can still be immediately relevant to the culture and the political atmosphere of today. I also think that science fiction and fantasy are both able to say profound things about our world in ways that other genres of fiction can't. To use the example of Fahrenheit 451, it's one thing for me to sit up here and say, yeah, reading is good and it's bad if people don't read books. It's another thing to craft a story explaining why reading is so important. Not through long lectures, but through just crafting a narrative and a character arc that shows why reading is so important, and building a world that shows what could happen if society gives up learning new things. That was kind of a tangent, but I just wanted to get that out there, because as you can tell, I love both of those books so much. In terms of series that got me into reading, I would say the big ones for me would be Chronicles of Narnia and Percy Jackson and the Olympians. I think what stands out to me about both Chronicles of Narnia and Percy Jackson is that they are fantasy stories with children protagonists, but the stories feel very mature. Some people may disagree with me on that. In both of these series, there's definitely more childish elements to them. But if you look at the stories that both of these series were based upon, you will find that there's a lot more depth to them than meets the eye. I would also say that they're the series that inspired me to start writing. I looked at them and thought, wow, I would love to be able to write a fantasy adventure story like that. What kind of books do you read? I mean, it's probably pretty obvious from what I've been talking about. I mostly read science fiction and fantasy. In my mind, science fiction and fantasy are the broadest genres of literature out there because you can do just about anything that your mind comes up with in those genres. You want to have dragons? Fine. You want to have aliens? Fine. You want to have aliens fight dragons? Fine. The possibilities are endless. I know that sounds a bit cheesy, but it's kind of true. But also in terms of nonfiction, I would say that I love reading history, just in general. I love learning about other cultures. I love learning about different periods in world history. For those of you who are at all interested, I would say my favorite eras of history are the more modern eras of kind of the 20th century, kind of that World War II, Cold War sort of era. I just find the politics of that era very fascinating, and the fact that so much of our modern world is shaped by what happened in just that one century is incredible to me. Finally, I want to end this video by asking the question, why should people read? And to be honest, I think the best answer that I can think of for this is that because reading makes you think. I think it's a great tragedy in our culture today that there is so much content that is being put out there into the world by everyone and their mother. But I don't know how much of it really makes you stop and think about the way you live your life, about the world at large, about society, about your worldview. What makes reading unique is that so much of it, maybe more so than any other form of media, is left up to the imagination. When you read words on the page, you are allowing the author to describe a scene to you, and you as the reader are filling in the gaps with the words that have been given to you. I mean, isn't that incredible? Just at a very base level, that's just amazing. The fact that our brains can utilize language in such a way as to paint these magnificent scenes. I also think that the art of writing is just so beautiful. I very much envy people who are able to take language and utilize it in such a way that it can appeal and speak to millions, even billions of people. That's amazing. Like, how cool is that? That someone can write a story that could potentially live on for generations after they have passed away. It's like you're putting a part of yourself into a text and allowing other people to experience a bit of who you are and your perspective on life. That may be a bit of a deeper answer than you were hoping for, but I hope that gives you something to chew on and gives you a little bit of insight into how I think. But anyway, this has been my BookTube Newbie Tag video. I hope you guys enjoy and that you stick around to join me on this journey as I explore books that I've already read, as well as books that I have been wanting to read for a long time. Leave a comment down below on what kinds of books you would like to see me read for this channel, as well as what kind of content you would like to see me produce. I'm still very new at this. I'm experimenting around with a lot of different things, so feel free to leave feedback. I never want to become one of those people who can't take criticism, who can't take feedback from their audience, so comment away. Thank you all for joining me, and if you've made it to the end of the video, thank you for sitting through the whole thing. It really means a lot, and I hope that you stick around to see what's in store for this channel. Thank you guys. Have an awesome day.